Okay, this next category is my favorite Palahniuk book. If you watch my room tour, I do have several of his books, and I've read a lot more than I actually own, but my favorite has to be Choke. And by the way, if you've seen the movie and haven't read the book, it doesn't do it justice. That movie is terrible. And it's not like Fight Club, where the movie has just as much credibility as the book does. No, don't watch the movie. Read the book. It's phenomenal. The undertones of Christianity and Jesus and sex and immorality and oh my god, there's just so much. It's such a little book. Like, all of his books are such thin, quick reads, but if you really delve into them deeper, there's so much going on there. He's a fabulous writer. I recommend any of his books, but Choke especially, that one really hit home with me. Next category is my favorite assigned read, and since I'm a lit major, I've had a lot of books assigned to me to read, but this one really stood out to me more than anything else ever has, and that is Nervous Conditions by Tsitsi Dangarembga. And I promise you the only reason I know how to say that name is because we did read it in class and our teacher told us how to say her name. Other than that, I would have been fumbling through that. But as you can still see, it still has my tabs in it from when I took class, and my pages are highlighted. This book is set in Africa, and it's a post-colonial Africa, and so it deals with the main character's transition between she's gone to a British missionary school, so she's too British to go back to her homestead and truly fit in, but she's still African, so she can never fully be British. And it just deals with that awkward, well, who am I if I don't fit in with my family at home, and I don't fit in with the British people I've been raised by? Who am I? Like, what do I do with that information? And so it deals with her struggling through that during her teenage years, and it's phenomenal. Post-colonial lit has always struck me as very moving, and this is definitely one of those, so you should pick up a copy. Okay, so my next category is my favorite urban fantasy, and I absolutely love urban fantasies. They're definitely my favorite genre, and out of those, my favorite has got to be the Southern Vampires mysteries, otherwise known as the Sookie Stackhouse books, the ones that True Blood are based off of. Yeah, these are definitely my guilty pleasure read, though. I read them pretty quickly, and I don't think there's a whole lot of substance to them, especially the later ones. As the series goes on, it kind of goes downhill. But they are my guilty pleasure reads. I can't stop reading them, and I am absolutely upset that there's only going to be 2 more released, and one of them I think is released in 2 months. And I'm kind of really upset about that. But like I said, the series has been going downhill, so I think it peaks about book 4 or 5 and then kind of goes down from there. But I do still love them, and I do still follow them. Just 2 more categories, I promise. I know this video is getting kind of long, but my next category is my favorite comic book. It's definitely Y: The Last Man. This is volume 3 in the big hardback editions. I read not a whole lot of comics, but I do like comics, and this has been the best one I've ever read. It's about when all the men on the planet just randomly die. No one knows why. But then there ends up being one man who survived, and it's kind of his journey through being the only man alive, as well as watching how the women react to being the only women alive. So, I don't know, it's just really, it's powerful, and it's great, and his pet is a monkey, and that's kind of awesome too. So. Last one is my favorite biography. And this is going to sound absolutely crazy, but my favorite biography, still to this day, is Heavier Than Heaven, the biography of Kurt Cobain. I love Kurt Cobain. I know that sounds terrible. In high school, and actually middle school, and most of my life, I've had a huge obsession with Nirvana and grunge in general, and I got a copy of his biography, the Heavier Than Heaven one, when I was in like 9th grade, I think, and I swear I carried that book around for years. I annotated it, I highlighted it, I did, oh my god, I don't know how many times I read it, and then I let a friend borrow it, and I've never gotten it back. So, kind of sad about that. I might have to buy another copy of it. But yeah, my favorite biography ever. So those are quick just overview of some of my favorites, and actually I realized now at the end of this video that my favorite book of all time is not even in this. So this is my favorite book of all time, Wuthering Heights, and I know that now makes this 11 categories instead of 10, and that's an odd number, and that really bothers me, but I couldn't do a video of my favorites and not actually show you my favorite book of all time. So Wuthering Heights. There you go, guys. I'll see you later.